Well, I guess this is the place to vent out what happened to me or multiple people. I honestly have no clue whatever the people were actually real people. I should start off by saying that my dad was extremely a busy man. Mom left us to do a business trip, as my father would put it, so he would always be at work or at home schooling me. He had a good paying job, but I was too young, around 10 or 12, to be home by myself. Anyway, back to venting. I remember my dad would always take me to a place called Playhouse. It was a playground daycare type thing. I was obscenely large though, if I had to guess. I say something about a football field of slides, merry-go-rounds, swings, and the usual playground things, with a big sign that had the name on it. Right next to the playground was a white building covered in polka dots of multiple colors and sizes, which is where I go when I got dark outside. My dad would always do the same routine. He'd drop me off at 7 a.m., go to work, then come back at 12 a.m. to pick me up. Me and him were seen as a family and would always get a discount, which my dad happily accepted. I guess the Daw family, they called themselves, saw their customers as their own flesh and blood. Me and the other kids would be outside, playing games and doing other kid things like, occasionally, Polka Dot, the clown, would come and play with us and give us treats. She was in her early 20s with blue curled hair and the pink body paint covering her head to toe. She wore a big clown suit with multiple dots on them and had a big cone-shaped hat with, you guessed it, more polka dots on it. She was real nice to me. I think she might have known I was a mother-like figure in my life. The kids there were odd, to say the least. I never saw any of them get picked up or dropped off. Thinking back, I think they lived here. They looked like one of those stereotypical ghosts with black hair and pale skin. No matter what, however, they always seemed as if they were a lot to me. But I rather rarely show emotion. One of those kids' name was Henry. Henry never left me alone. He was of course annoying, but we became friends a few days after I first got dropped off. He would always call himself Henry the Great, and would always tell me cryptic riddles and do magic tricks. I guess he wants to be the only one that I felt semi-comfortable around. The real weird shit was when we went inside. The inside of the building was extremely colorful, and everything inside it seemed well as if it came from a cartoon. The staff there was horrible. They were no help at all. They would always stay quiet until lunchtime came around, or if one of the kids was being an asshole. They were like prison guards, but just as worse in any way. Unless a parent was around, then they were the happiest people on the goddamn earth. There were 4 rooms: lunchroom, playroom, bedroom, and polka dots room. There were free, self-explanatory lunchrooms that was there we got food. The playroom was considered a backup playground when it got dark or when it was raining, and the bedroom was a large room filled with beds for us to sleep in. But there was polka dots room. We never were allowed in there. The staff would do everything to keep us out. I always told the other kids about what I thought was inside, but they tell me that I was lying. Even if I said that Polka Dot probably just wanted privacy, they would always say I was lying. Henry did it too, but he would actually correct me. But Henry being Henry would always say that inside was a cryptic way that I never understood. I remember one of the cryptic corrections was that in there she took things to drink their color. I remembered it because it was the only time I actually got angry back at one of the kids. I told Henry just to tell me the truth already and to quit with the riddles. He didn't say anything. He just pointed at the drawing of Polka Dot and said, "She drinks color." I angrily just stomped off and didn't want to talk to him the rest of the day. I decided to find myself. I didn't care if I got in trouble with my dad or with the staff, whatever. I needed to know what was so special about Polka Dot's room. So when it was nap time, I waited until everyone was asleep. Then I snuck out. The place seemed more like a maze at night, like each of the rooms were swapped places every time I would open the door or peek out of the corner. I finally managed to get to the door of Polka Dot's room. After what felt like 3 hours of searching the doors and waking up and down the flights of stairs, the lights in the room were on, and I could hear Polka Dots doing something inside. I was close to solving the mystery. I slowly opened the door and it was like opening Pandora's box. I got my answer to my mystery, but I was terrified. It was colorful with a tea party set with one of those beds on a roof, what looked like a child's room, except for one thing. The table on the far right of the room was a large table, with a child seemingly glued on by the mucus-like substance. Polka Dot was looming over the kid with her jaw unhinged, and with a large proboscis-like tongue inserted into the kid's mouth. The noises that Polka Dot and the other kid made was terrifying. The best way I could describe it was like hearing someone choking on straw, crying and gasping for air while liquid was still going down their throat. She was draining the child's insides of any liquid. I even saw her tongue poke out of the child's side. I quickly closed the door and ran back to the bedroom. I could hear Polka Dots following me, but the place basically being a huge maze wasn't helpful at all. I checked every door, but each one was empty, at least from what I could tell. I finally managed to get back inside the bedroom, quickly closing the door behind me. I tried to hide under one of the bed covers, but they were all taken by the kids. I then approached Henry's bed. He was standing up, seemingly waited for me. Pointed to his bed. I quickly jumped in it. Henry wouldn't stop saying, "I told you she drank colors," over and over. When I was thanking him, he then lent a finger to his lips, and I hid under the covers. I closed my eyes, hoping that she would just think I was asleep. Henry very quickly ran to Polka Dot and gave her a hug, which I guess snapped her out of her bloodlust. I don't even know how Henry did it, but he managed to convince her that he had been a bad dream and there was a monster under his bed. Polka Dot hushed him and patted his head. Then I heard her lead him to one of the beds. She slowly closed the door to the bedroom. At 12 a.m., my dad finally showed up. He woke me up and took me to the check-in area. After my dad was done, he took my hand and walked out of the building. I still went to that place until we moved. My mom and dad wanted to get back together, so we were moving cross-country to her house. I was so goddamn happy that I helped my dad pack our things into the moving truck. When I went to my room to gather my stuff, I found a lollipop stuck underneath my bed. It was still wrapped, and it had a heart-shaped envelope on it. I ripped the lollipop off from my bed and opened the envelope. I still remember what it said. "You found my secret. You're so good at finding things. Now it's my turn. See you soon. XOXO Polka Dot."
What's up, my pretties? It's the Lion Queen here. I want to appreciate you all for tuning into this video, and I do appreciate you guys supporting my video by giving this video likes and stuff. If you really enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you're new, ring the bell for notifications to when I upload so that way you guys will get updated for whenever I upload. If you want to follow me on Twitter or DeviantArt, feel free to leave a follow on those if you are interested in following me on those socials. If you want to support my backup channel, known as Miss Dark Shigo, feel free to subscribe to it, as a link to that will also be in the About page section. And with that being said, and that being the case, thank you so much for watching, my pretties, and as always, please stay pretty.